Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 6, episode number 48. Tonight's the sports edition, Andy.
Cooking right along here.
Yeah, it's October.
Seven's around the corner.
It's October 6th, 2025, Andy. It's baseball playoff season, football season, high school sports. Lots going on. College sports. We're in that great time of the fall season.
Kind of like that scene in Bull Durham. We're dealing with a lot of shit here.
Yes. Well, let's start off with speaking of that, let's start off with a trivia question.
Yes.
Something that happened on this day in 1945. Nothing to do with World War II. 1945. Game World Series was going on.
Okay.
A gentleman bought a ticket for an animal at the World Series and was quickly escorted out of the building. What animal was it, Andy? What animal?
Okay.
We'll get the answer at the end of the episode. The animal, a seat for an animal at the World Series. So maybe you're thinking iguana, puppy dog.
Bring your dog to dog park day, something like that.
Bark at the park? No, it was not.
That's the word I'm for. Yes.
Yes.
Don't know. I got nothing for now. Might hit me later. We'll see what we got here.
Yes.
And we don't have it now, but insert your ad here if you want to advertise with us. There's our Facebook page or our website. You can contact either Dan or myself. Andy at Sports and Songs Podcast or Dan at Sports and Songs Podcast. If you are interested in advertising, please let us know. National Coaches Day. Coach Mike, happy National Coaches Day.
Yes.
And anyone else who claims to be a coach. But Coach Mike, this is your day.
Coach Fredericks.
If you want all of this free stuff today. You think I got free coffee and free sandwiches?
Watertown Mayor Wrestling, Coach Fredericks.
Yes, Coach Fredericks, yes. Happy Coaches Day. Right. There is, as of this morning, because there's games going on now, how the Major League playoffs are standing.
Okay.
I think the best part of this right now is the Blue Jays are up 2-0. That just puts a
convincingly
smile on my heart, a smile on my face.
Convincingly.
Yes. So we'll see how that. They still got plenty to play. But we'll see. Get right into the police reports.
All right.
I shared some of these over the weekend. I haven't said boo, but in the last hour I've done some reading, so I could say something now. Mark Sanchez.
Wow.
First, we heard prayers and thoughts for Mark Sanchez. He's in the hospital. Oh, my God. Everybody's all worried. Mark Sanchez. No sooner get done reading that article, and it's Mark Sanchez arrested in the hospital. Wait, what? From what I've heard, from what I understand, sources close to me, there was a truck driver making a delivery in the alley. Mark went out to discuss matters with him. Mark had, according to the driver, smelled alcohol on Mark's breath. The guy feared for his life. The driver feared for his life and sprayed pepper spray on Mr. Sanchez. Sanchez continued to come at him. Pushing and shoving going on. This man felt threatened. So, of course, things happened. This guy was in the hospital too long with Mark Sanchez. They're both in the hospital. But Sanchez came around the corner to the driver. I don't know why he came upon him, what his beef was with him. Sanchez, according to the stories, is one who went aggressively up to the driver, the delivery driver. 69-year-old gentleman is trying to make a buck at 12:30 in the morning, making his deliveries. Both are in the hospital. I have not heard one way or the other if they're doing well, they're in critical condition. I don't know. Depends on, guess what news story you read and how old the story is. That's popping all the time. But still more to come on that. But it wasn't pure Mr. Innocent Mark Sanchez as the first stories came out, which is why I wait, because so many news people, they throw stuff out right away. He got stabbed. Oh, poor guy. Whoa, wait. It's not poor guy. I'm so fast. But we will see how it's going on. I mean, I don't wish ill on anyone. Thoughts and prayers for Mark Sanchez. Hope he's better. Hope the driver's better. But hope we get this figured out too. Preseason hockey. Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning. Preseason hockey. 16 players ejected, 312 minutes and penalties. God, I love that sport. And that was preseason. So excited. Working on a different hockey guest, Hockey Mind, coming up here in a few weeks once hockey gets started, to have us on, or have him on, and maybe have him be a regular contributor, hockey style wise. All right. Bobby Valentine was a center fielder behind Nolan Ryan on May 15th, 1973. The day Nolan Ryan threw his first no-hitter. In 1990 and 91, Bobby Valentine was Nolan Ryan's manager when he threw his 6th and 7th no-hitter. Valentine is 3 years younger than Nolan Ryan. So just consider that one. You were younger than your player, and he threw you a no-hitter. So, also, knuckleballer Charlie Huff threw a complete game shutout in 1994 at the age of 46. A complete game. You can't get guys past. If they get to the 6th inning, that's incredible if they get through the 6th. This gentleman was 46 and threw a complete game shutout. Mets coaching staff updates. Basically, the manager is the only one staying. The others have been given permission to talk to other teams. We'll see how all that pans out. I don't know. When you blow up the entire boat like this, we'll get to boats later. You blow up the entire roster like this for coaches. I don't know. You got some big name salaries you got on there with Soto and Lindor. I don't know if Alonso's going to stick around for all this, depending who the coaching staffs are coming in. I know coaches' salaries and player salaries are different. But if I was a player, would I want to stick around for this? I don't know. Minnesota High School League has approved girls sections from 4 to 8 sections. I know we said earlier, a while ago, they said they were moving the girls up or the tournament up to an extra half day. Now they've increased the sections for the girls. So that should be very exciting news. Very good news for the high school wrestling programs. The WNBA finals are going on, like we said, and both coaches are from South Dakota. So take that, big cities. It also gives me a reason to show Becky Hammond again. So
interesting.
They are having some issues. Kelsey Plum, WNBA first vice president of the CBA negotiations, says, quote, "We have leverage, we have unity, and we have a common goal, particularly on salary, and we're not just where we want to be." Now, like I said, 30 years this league's been around. They're not making the money, but they want to get paid, which I understand. I'll give you all that. But now they got a beef with the president or commissioner. They're a little 3-on-3 league that some other players run in the offseason is paying them more than this league does. They're making more in Europe. The NBA is making a boatload of cash, which funds the WNBA. Why they can't throw a little in there to get it going, I don't know. But the sad thing is if they go on strike or lockout, whatever term you want to use here, what my fear is this league, 30 years in, yes, they're not making money, but they're really starting to gain popularity. But the finals right now, without a Caitlin Clark or a big name in it, the stadium's like half full. So you do need your few star players. You need to spread the wealth more. You're going to crap on the other players and crap on the league from the commissioner's office. The fans are going to support the players over the commissioner and owners every day of the week. So you got to step up, and the NBA just has to hand over some money and go, pay the girls. Let's do it. We can't afford to lose them. The sad part is the NBA commissioner, who's as brainless as the next guy, there's no question that the WNBA is going through growing pains. Growing pains? Dude, they're 30 years old. Growing pains? So the W is in trouble. We need to have someone step in and help. Please, God, somebody buy this league and step in and help. Forest Lake High School in Minnesota here urges the Minnesota Department of Ed to immediately comply with Title IX. You're going to see a lot more high schools, I think, stepping up on this. Really kind of sticking their neck out on it, some of these schools, because a lot of things going on here, this and that. We shall see. We shall see how this all goes. Happy anniversary.
Wow.
20th anniversary of Love Boat scandal. Now, I was looking on this, and let me read some stuff. Hold on. This is from Sports Illustrated. So I'll give proper credit here. Current Vikings wife shuts down Lake Minnetonka boat plan with Love Boat reminder. October 6th, that's today. Happy 20th anniversary to Love Boat scandal. The players wanted to do another boat cruise, and Samantha Van Ginkel, whose husband's Viking linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, helped pivot the conversation to something less traumatic in Viking lore. As a lifelong Viking fan, she says, "I'll never forget what happened the last time a boat was involved." So now she wanted to do it, and she stepped in and said, no. She then offered to text responses she received. She then offered text responses she received when informing her friends of the lewd scandal on Lake Minnetonka. Because I guess if you're not from here, you wouldn't know. Some things I'm not going to use some of that language I said there. If the 2025 families end up going to dinner, perhaps to a spot overlooking Lake Minnetonka, that'd be fine. If it weren't for 7 members of the group, 7 exiting the limousine bus and simultaneously peeing on the property owner's lawn. That prompted a call to police and the discovery of the players' involvement on the scandal. I mean, to get 7 guys to simultaneously pee, that's pretty impressive. I mean, hats off to that. Lance Johnston and Bryant McKinney were the 3 big names. Now, I just got to ask you this, Dan, and just bear with me on this. In today's world, videos and phones going all the time, you would have seen live feeds from that boat, what's going on.
Yeah, I think so.
I really think in today's world, in 2025 world, if this would have happened with feeds, players had to have been cut or suspended from the league immediately. Coaches, even though they weren't there, are going to have to be blamed as responsible. So good luck getting a coaching job elsewhere because you were supposed to be responsible for these men. But say this happened today, it will destroy the team. So many guys would be suspended and cut right now. Who would want to come play for this team? It would take years to recuperate from this. But somehow we muddled right through because one player, now I want to say it was McKinney, I can't remember, the famous quote, they thought they were fine on Lake Minnetonka because they were on international waters. I don't know. I don't know. I just work here.
And so that was 20 years ago on their bye. Once again, it was on their bye week. No girlfriends, wives involved. Just the guys set this up, and a bunch of the players did it. And
there was girls on there and wives, but not their wives.
Yes, and so this comes up. And the Vikings now are done with their international for the year. They were in Ireland. They were in London. Now this is their bye week. So, yes, it coincides with 20 years ago. So it is their bye week. I think with all the traveling, there's going to be a lot of resting involved and not a lot of activities, I think, because of all the travel.
Yep. The 80s stat of the week. I did bring up some of the baseball stats, the Charlie Huff thing, the Nolan Ryan thing. 80s baseball stat of the week. Late September 1982, Pete Vukovich.
Vukovich, yes.
Vukovich. In Bull Durham, he played the first baseman, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
Or not Bull Durham, Major League.
Major League, okay.
He was pitching with a torn rotator cuff. He was throwing a lot of pitches and a lot of pain. We'll paraphrase there. But the Brewers were in the pennant race, so he got a cortisone shot 2 days later, threw 11 innings and 173 pitches to beat the Red Sox.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Can you imagine if that was today? I got a little tingle in my shoulder, coach. Can't play.
Yeah.
He took
Agent
a cortisone
would have
shot.
gotten involved, I'm sure.
Cortisone shot, 11 innings, 173 pitches.
Jeez.
Pitchers today, that's their World Series stats. 11 innings, 173 pitches for the whole World Series. He did this in a game because they were in the pennant race. All right, here we go. FCS coaches standings, the polls. Bison 1, Bunnies 2, Montana 4, Montana State 5, Illinois State 10, North Dakota 11. 1 and 2 play each other in 3 weeks at South Dakota State for the Dakota marker.
Okay.
The time is not set yet. I don't know if this game's going to be ESPN. If it's going to have to be ESPN Plus, you got to buy a package for the game. Is it going to be a 7:30 game, a 2 o'clock game? No one knows yet. Still to be determined, which is when you're the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country, you kind of have that flexibility to do. So
yeah, and just a reminder for the fans that they're in the same conference. They play each other every year, that they are 1-2 in the nation. That is
a rematch of the championship game from last year.
Wow.
And they're 1-2. First of all, it's the Dakota marker game, so they could both be 0-8 going into the game. It's going to be a sold out. You're playing for the Dakota marker. It's like Flood of Rosedale or the Axe here. The Dakota marker, one of the best rivalry games in all of football. Oh, and you're number 1 against number 2. Oh, it's a rematch from the championship game last year. Oh, we don't like each other. You know.
Yeah, good stuff.
Congratulations, Nate Herman, coach of Green Owl Irish Baseball, has resigned. So congrats to him. Good career.
Nate, it's Hartman last name.
Hartman, I'm sorry.
Originally from Belle Plaine. Yes.
Yep.
Played college. He played at St. John's as a catcher, I believe.
Yeah. So congrats to him. I'm sure you'll still see him around. He'll still have his nose in a little bit. That no one really you never really retire. You never really step down. He'll still be getting phone calls and helping out. It's in his blood. But enjoy some golf this year, Nate, or whatever your relaxation is away from the ball field. If you want to intern here, we could always use the help too.
Yes.
And now for Dan's favorite part. He's been waiting all day for this. Pacing back and forth. Disney has removed Paul Feinbaum from appearing on ESPN network shows since expressing interest in running for Senate in Alabama as a Republican on the Clay Travis show.
Oh, wow. That was it?
Yeah, he said he might want to. He's thinking about it. Kicking it around. You know, I might have pizza for dinner. You know, how we all just say stuff. My beef on this is, okay, you don't want to get, in case he wants to get political on his shows, maybe just go, hey, keep talking sports. Don't bring up other issues, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe let him do like interviews or have him go like special reports, like relive a moment 20 years ago. What's your opinion on the Viking boat scandal? You know, stuff like that. Get him away from current event stuff where politics might come into play if you want. I'll give you that if you did that. But you're Disney, you're ESPN. Okay, for all Disney, who quote unquote fired Jimmy Kimmel for a week and a half because of stuff he said politically, but hired him back. This guy you won't have on because he might say something political. You own The View, who gets very political. I mean, but The View show is politics. But I was like, Disney, you own ESPN. How many of your players come on during interviews and say stuff? My God, you showed the NFL with their end racism stuff, the WNBA with their, or other things, their Black Lives Matters and the NBA, WNBA stuff. All these other shirts they all wore, and that's okay. This guy might run for Senate, so you're going to ban him? He might. And who cares if he was? He's not making the political statement you guys make on everything else you show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's over the top.
sorry, taking a lot of drinks. I got a dry throat today. Sorry. UFL getting rid of Michigan, Memphis, and San Antonio as cities. It looks like. I think it's because they play in stadiums that are too big and they just can't fill them. Costs too much to keep the lights on. I'm kind of reading between the lines
I
here.
agree. I do think I read a little bit of this myself, and it sounds like it's the stadium size,
Yep.
the
So
arena size.
so here it goes back to what I said before on stuff. Now this is not coming up using this as an example. Play in Fargo at the Fargo Dome, smaller
Yep.
arena. Play at some of the smaller college stadiums where it's smaller. Don't play in Michigan for God's sake, where you got 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Don't
So
play it
it's
in
like you've
San
always
Antonio.
said.
There's no
It's
pro football. Play in a
like you've
small
always
college.
said. Play in the minor league cities. Play in the
Yep.
minor league cities, and not the big cities. The smaller cities that have the size of the arenas that are appropriate for this. Almost like what was the other football that we were going to cover? The arena. They almost
Yeah.
have to have it almost in arena league size arenas. 15,
Yep.
18,000 is perfect.
Yeah. The Fargo or South Dakota State University on their campus somewhere. These smaller college campuses, play there. Help, football's popular in those areas. Bring more track. You got the fans, bring them in. And don't forget, Sports and Science Community College coming up in November. We're here to educate. Keep an eye for that. It'll be Wednesday nights. It'll be those classes. No need to pre-register. Bring your pen and paper. Watch your stuff. There'll be a lot of different things coming up. About 5, 10, maybe a 15-minute episode. Just enlightening things. Some of the topics we're working on, like I said, baseball stats, certain how you figure ERA and batting average and some of the basic stats.
Slugging percentage.
Working with Jason Ank on some wrestling stuff, terminologies, smarten you up in the wrestling business on things. Musically, what does a producer do on an album? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What's an album for you young kids? Got me thinking because Taylor Swift right now, I'm going to talk a little songs here. Dropped an album online. Okay, no. You didn't wait outside Musicland all day long outside for an album. It's different now than then. So we'd be comparing those things, trying to make them apples to apples. But that's what I got, man.
So the WNBA. The only thing I've got to say about that is they've been around, like you said, Andy, 30 years. They've been growing
Yep.
so small they're not moving the needle. Now, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers comes in, Angel Reese, all this comes in. I think, it's my opinion, that they grew too fast, too much, too fast, and now the needle moved all the way over and they weren't prepared for it. They're behind. Now they got the collective bargaining. There's issues with the commissioner. They want to get paid more. All this came all at once. And I would agree with the phrase probably that due to growing pains, they never expected to grow this fast in this short amount of time after being around for 30 years. This would have been a dream come true years ago, but they are so successful now with these new players coming in. The league is so successful. And like you said, they don't have the business or the financial minds in place to run it. They're over their heads. They're over their heads is what I think. They're not the right people involved for the small business that it was, the WNBA for 29 years, 28 years. Yes, they were growing. I would say just 4 or 5, 6% growth year over year, or something to that effect. And now you come in with a 200% growth. They don't know. They got bombarded, and so
Yeah.
it does look bad. It does look bad in the league. It does look bad in the commissioners. They are in over their heads, and so growing pains, I think, is fair to say because they grew so fast. But this is their 30 years they've been around, and so
But there's
it'll
enough
be an interesting
brilliant business
topic to follow.
minds. There's enough
Uh,
brilliant business
it's
minds in
a
the NBA,
jackpot. It's a
former owners, this
jackpot.
and
How
that could come in, I think, to help out with commissioner stuff, help
they
out
are
Disney
just
help out funding.
And the collective agreement, hasn't been renewed in 3 years or something, or 5 years. That's now
Right.
due, and so they're working with that. There's a lot going on, and even if they get 80% of it right going forward, people are gonna still complain about the 20% they didn't. I mean, so they're in
Yeah.
a predicament, I think, but it's
They're a
still good
lose
to
lose
go
as
see
far
the
as that.
games. It's
If
good
they lose
stuff. The
one
other thing
day, they lose one day of the season. That's 500 steps back.
yeah. It's in a precarious predicament, I think, and I just hope everything goes well with that. But they've got a lot to deal with, and like you said, the NBA is making money. So yes, they can cut them a check and say, hey, give these gals some raises and move forward.
Mhm.
But like we talked about on previous shows, whatever the raise is, it's not going to be enough yet because we don't know what they're expecting, and they're still going to
Right.
be upset. It's a no-win situation. So
Mhm.
interesting to follow. The other thing in sports, we got uh, NFL's going on, the Major League Baseball playoffs. For baseball, Andy, the Arizona Fall League kicks off today. So
Yes.
each team has, I believe, it's 8 players from each major league organization has 8 players picked from the various levels of their affiliates in the minors. Typically, the prospects, the top 100 prospects, the big names are all down playing in Arizona in the fall league. And so that gets kicked off today. If you watch any of those games, and I think you have, not a lot of fans in the crowd, they don't draw a lot,
Nope.
but it's all down in the Arizona complex, basically the
Yep.
complex league for the Arizona training camp. It basically takes place in the Cactus League, right? And so
Yep.
that will be fun to watch. Minnesota this year, uh, there's 8 players going down. 5 are pitchers in the fall league. I think an outfielder and 2 infielders. So it's not going to be. They don't cover this a lot on ESPN, on the local news sports page. You have to do some digging to see how are they doing, who's doing well, who's not, what are the stats. It's not that prominent because the playoffs are going on. So
You're
anyway, the
coming back from
Minnesota,
injury, rehabbing an injury, something like that. Yeah.
yes, and some guys, yeah, are. I found out with the Twins, the players in the Twins organization are players that either were hurt or didn't play that much this season. Now they're healthy, they're
Yep.
ranked as a prospect, and now they want to get them in and get another round of games at a high level out of these guys that didn't maybe get too many innings on their arms work for innings. So the Minnesota affiliate this year is Peoria. So Peoria, north of Phoenix. I think that's where the Seattle Mariners spring train and the
Mhm.
Padres that's where they're going to be playing for the Minnesota group on that Peoria team. So look for them, and that starts tonight. So you may have to do some
Yeah.
digging. Like I said, it's not
Yep.
a very big sport, big news, but I think this is a 33rd year or 32nd year of doing it. It's a very popular league. If you get a chance, if you're down there to take in a game or two, or even a
Mhm.
practice, these are some of the top prospects in all of baseball. So fun stuff.
Keep an eye on our social medias. We'll keep you updated on the Twins and Mets prospects.
Yes, yes. And now, Andy, trivia question.
Okay. Yes. Let's take a look. Go ahead.
Here we go. Trivia question. On this very day in 1945, an animal was someone purchased a ticket for an animal at the Game 4 of the World Series, and it didn't go very well. The person was escorted out. Now this was 1945. So Andy,
It's the
what
80-year
animal?
anniversary. It's the 80-year anniversary. This team is
80
in the
years
playoffs
ago,
again.
80 years ago today,
I wonder if they're
this
doing it.
happened.
It might happen at the game tonight. You never know.
It could.
At Wrigley Field,
I'll
did
give you
someone
one
bring a
hint.
Billy Goodman?
I'll tell you. The only hint we can give is it was with the Chicago Cubs back then.
Did somebody bring a Billy Goat into the game tonight?
Bingo. There's your answer.
Billy Goat's restaurant down in Chicago. Great
You
place to
have the
go.
you have the hat, right?
Yeah, not with me today, no. But yes, I do have one.
So here's the story: was the Cubs were in it. A local tavern owner named Billy Goat Sianis bought a
Mhm.
ticket for him and his Billy Goat for Game 4 of the World Series. Bought 2 tickets, one for him, one for the Billy Goat. They came in and were quickly escorted out. He was upset. He got mad. He placed a goat curse on the Chicago Cubs. And that's where we get the goat curse, the curse of the Billy Goat, from the Cubs all the way until they broke the curse and they won it a few years back. But that was 80 years ago today when that whole scandal first broke out, where he wanted to bring the Billy Goat to the game 4, Cubs World Series. They said, no, get it out of here. Keep her moving.
Kick rocks.
That was 80 years ago. So they did some, the curse went on so long that many people believed it had some, it was, legit, because the Cubs could not get the
You
farthest
start
they got.
buying anything after a while.
Yes, and that was when the Bartman foul ball came into play, saying there's got to be a curse. Everything's going wrong. The Cubs cannot get to that next level. But the curse, or whatever it was, allegedly has been broken when the Cubs won it a few years back. But that was 80 years ago today. Imagine on social media, Andy, what that would have been like today.
There was another Cub curse for the World Series for the longest time. The 3X Cub curse, that no team with 3 or more X Cubs on the roster ever won a World Series.
That's right. Yes. You
that
told
was
me about
broken
this.
a few years ago, too.
If you have people on your playoff
roster,
if you have playoff roster and the team going to the World Series and you have some ex-Cubs on them, 3 of them, at least 3 or more, you never will get there. But that has also been broken.
The 3 years in a row in the early 90s where the Oakland A's made the World Series all the time.
Yes.
One time they won it, they only had 2 ex-Cubs. The year before and after, because of free agencies, they picked up another ex-Cub. Didn't win the World Series.
Doesn't fly.
They had to learn the hard way.
Well, that is interesting stuff. So that's all we've got. Anything more, Andy?
No, like I said, we're back to sports stuff now. Kind of the special sports episodes will be out of the way for a while, I think. Might do a special World Series, if something happens there. Might do some more special high school stuff as that comes up now. High school football's kicking off good. It's that time of year again. Might do some special things on those when those playoffs begin sooner than later.
And college football, lots going on with college football. They're midway through the season, and wild stuff. It's about midway through, I think. But of the
go for homecoming this weekend for football. Talked to Jeremy the Rock there. Go for football, homecoming. He will be serving communion again this Saturday if you're interested.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So flag him down.
It's good to know that it involves root beer.
That's those root beer barrels, and there's communion. That's something separate.
Oh, it is.
It's just
we'll have
those who need to know.
I'll have to find that out.
Yes.
I can only imagine what that is.
I've had it. I've been blessed. It changed me. I would change man since then.
And you paid the price.
Yes, I did.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you all next week, next Monday night, and talk to you next week.
See ya.